my personal vision. This is part of the Pathways Level 5 for Visual Communications, where there's an exercise to try and develop either a personal vision or just a vision in general for your life. They share a number of interesting examples. In some ways, I think these examples that they share through the worksheets are a little bit simplistic. Like one of them was the vision of living a life of continuous learning. Now, when I think about a vision, or I try and develop a vision for myself, I normally tend to try and follow something similar to what is in the workbooks of Toastmasters. But I found to live a happy life and even a successful life, that doing it in that way is in many ways wrong. Because several times in my life I've had a vision, like this serendipitous moment. I thought, oh, I've got this great idea, I'm going to go and develop this solution, and I'll go away and develop it. And sometimes it fails, sometimes it succeeds in various measures of success. But yeah, what then? So I think it's better to form a set of principles, which I'm going to share with you in this speech, which is essentially my vision for living a good life. So my vision is to try and be the best version of myself, deliver maximum value, love and happiness to everyone around me. Now, when you create a vision, you want to develop a number of goals around that as well to help you turn that vision into reality. And most typically, these goals have timelines set to them. But in my vision here, there's no real timelines. It's just a question of trying to remember to do these goals and the associated tasks in every situation. Because only when you remember to do all of these tasks in each situation does it result in you being able to be the best version of yourself, which leads to generally a happy life. So one thing that you often hear people say is you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so use them in that portion. Listen more than you speak. And I think this is very powerful. It's also quoted in, or something related to this is quoted in the books, or the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. He says, first seek to understand. And I think the mistake that I've made very often, in like the first 40 years of my life, is I've often been listening, not really to understand, but listening to determine how I'm going to answer what I'm going to say next. And what I've kind of discovered is that in many situations it's better just to listen, just to try to understand, and in certain situations it's often better just to listen and agree with the person who's telling you something. Just because someone's unloading their heart on you or their problems on you doesn't necessarily mean that they want advice from you. So certainly in my personal relationships, I found that my default mode has always been to give advice, like, oh, if I was in your situation, I would do this. But again, through reading, I've kind of learned that in some situations, it's better just to try and feel what the person is feeling and share empathy, and that can develop stronger relationships, particularly when my experience on the personal front, I think is probably true in work as well. So the tasks here are really just always, when I'm having a conversation or involved in a communication with someone, to listen with the aim of understanding, but not with the aim of thinking already how am I going to respond to this. And I have to confess that certainly in the personal sphere I've not really done this, but certainly in a work sphere I do this very frequently. I write what I think I've understood and then share some opinion on that. In my work, I work as a strategic services consultant, so my goal there is to try and turn every client that I consult for into a referenceable client. So the tasks, again, not really with timelines associated with this goal, are that I need to, essentially exercise the behaviours I described earlier to understand the needs of the client by asking the right questions to the right stakeholders and not being too eager to respond and have a conversation, but really aim, to understand, listen to understand. Then once I've understood as best I can what their issues, challenges, and opportunities are, to to then brainstorm. Traditionally, I've often brainstormed alone, but I want to, well, moving forwards, try and make a habit of doing more group-based brainstorming, ideally with more diverse groups, because then you get more interesting, different perspectives and different opinions, which all in all lead to better outcomes for the client and help me reach my goal of turning as many of my clients into reference clients as possible. Another goal, make Leiden Toastmasters thrive. This is my second year on the board of Leiden Toastmasters as VP PR. I mean, the main thing I've been doing is really managing the camera and the sharing of the videos, for those of you that agree to share the videos. But it seems I've found a certain process that seems to be driving sufficient guests and members to come. So I think key for Toastmasters and nice about our environment here is that it feels like a very safe environment. I certainly feel safe doing the Toastmasters goal on an ad hoc basis, or even doing a speech like this on a fairly ad hoc basis. I think it's important to be very encouraging and show empathy when you're doing evaluations of members. Try and pay that forwards. And of course, I've said, I'm recording and sharing videos with permissions of the speakers to try and promote the club. And this seems to work fairly well. And then finally, my last goal is to stay fit, healthy, and curious. And this really goes hand in hand with the more, if you like, additional visions and goals. Because by being curious, I'm always discovering new opportunities or scratching my itch when I find a serendipitous moment when this great idea comes to me, to then research and code side projects to try and deliver more value to people around me and to the world in general. Staying curious is also really a habit that I've had. I've been reading, I don't really count, I think on average probably 2 non-fiction books a month. I've been doing that for many years. I run every day and I try and eat a plant-based diet as much as possible, which I've given various speeches about in my early days of Toastmasters as well. So it's the basic kind of Toastmasters structure, a vision, goal, and a number of related tasks. The difference is I don't really have timelines associated with them. It's just something I try and live by every day to result in as much happiness for myself and those people around me. Thank you.